Page 54, La Cucaracha, the cockroach. Very famous melody. I like this song. This is a nice arrangement. It's on pages 54 and 55. He's too big. Treble and bass clef, 3/4 time, 1 sharp. So we're in the key of G major. Just make sure you can do the G major scale at least 1 octave up and down, although 2 octaves would be better. 8th notes all over the place, and I got some fingering suggestions. So let's take it one hand at a time, starting here, and just look at the first couple of measures here. On the notes, you have a D, a G, a B, and a D. That is a G chord in extended position. It's just, instead of here, the G's on the bottom, or the D's on the bottom. It's an inversion. Well, when I see these chords, I finger it as I would the chord, which means 4th finger on the B's. And then I can collapse here. So I'm going to use 4th finger on the B's. Anywhere else I get this, I finger these chords usually as I'd finger the chord. Does that make sense? So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and then 4th finger here, because we need to save the 5th finger for the E. And then I want here, and that's okay if you want to, but if you got fat hands, another finger you can do is for measure 4, instead of, you're coming on B is here, and you, instead of 3, scratch up and use 4, and then you can reach down and use 2 and 3. Now your thumb is even ready for the next note. So it's here, just start on measure 3. 4, here. Here, you need to be able to do that anyway, big deal. And then now and I use 4 here again because that's the chord, all those notes together up to the C, that's 4th finger. So I do that. And if you don't want it here, thumb on those, then you use 2, 3. That's fun. But you're welcome to do that too, because in measure 7 you got to come up here. Well, you can lift up and come up. Then on measure 7, they want 3, 4. Use 4th finger. Just use 4th finger. It's closer to where you are. 4th finger is closer than 3rd. I mean, I recommend 4th finger for measure 7. And stay in this position. I recommend just stay in here. They have you crossing over the thumb. You don't need to cross over the thumb. And then you can scratch up just 3 if you want, or 2. It doesn't matter here. Either fingering is fine. That's all. Look at the last line on page 54. You have the D's, and then a G and a D again, and then you got to change hand positions. The same notes an octave higher. So you're going from here to here. Now there's other fingerings we can use, but we also need to be able to do this, so I'm going to encourage you to use this fingering. You need to be able to do this, going from here to here. We're changing octaves in the same chord. This is an important skill we need to be able to do in piano, so go ahead and do this. Just lift up and move. And then 4th finger. And then going on, we got to here. And then come up. It's the same chord in different octaves. So yeah, use that finger. And then on measure 17, they want you here. No. Thumb, and then it's 4. And going down is 3, 2, not 2, 1. So measure 17 is 1, 4, 3, 2. This way you're saving the thumb to go on to do that again. Because it was so much fun the first time, we're going to do it again. And then the last 2 measures. Again, thumb. Here it's 3rd finger now instead of 4. 3. Now we want to end on thumb. Here. So it's 1, 3, 3. And you reach up, 2, 5. Good fingering. I used this fingering in another piece earlier where they had you using 1, 5. I told you to use 2, 5. Well, da-da-da-da. Left hand's broken chords, which is kind of nice because you got enough to think about in the right hand, because you just got these chords. You've had these chords before. Put the hands together slowly. See, the The left hand needs it. Just make sure you're playing the rest in the left hand. You put the hands together. Then go back through and get rid of the hesitations, because people would be dancing to this eventually. Go as slow as you need to go, it doesn't matter. Now, as far as the articulation goes, staccatos and shorts, lift up the chuck. That's what I suggest on the left hand. Dynamics, well, the F-P, that tells you you're going to play it at least twice. Well, the first time is F for forte is loud, and this is the melody. And when you play it the second time, you're playing soft. Left hand's got to stay in the background. Well, good luck with that. So you read the dynamics through. You can read them as well as I can, I'm sure. Roadmap-wise, well, we have first and second endings, so the third line there. So the first ending has a repeat sign that sends you back to the beginning to do all that first two lines again, and then you do the second ending and go on. Okay. However, there's a note above the staff at the beginning, second time 8VA. Well, won't that be fun? Simply means that when you repeat it, play it the second time, you're going to go up an octave. Now, it's only above the upper staff, so it's only going to affect that staff. If they want it to be both staves, they have to put in a note, both hands, or they have to put that 8VA note above both staves. It's not automatically applied to multiple staves. They have to tell you. Otherwise, it's only that one staff. So it's only right hand going up. The left hand isn't moving. So when you finish the first ending, the right hand's going to come up here. You may have to practice. The left hand stays right there. You play it all up here, the first two lines. And then on the back down on third line, you take the second ending. It's got the LOCO. Now that means local. That means play it where it's written. Well, so instead of here, you're going to down here. So you're playing measure 6 here the second time. And then you go down to the second ending. Well, if you want to help you out, you can use thumb on the first note. And then 1-4 here. Because that's why you don't have to go from here to here. Or here, or wherever you're going. So here, thumb. So let's start at the, measure 6, second time you're up here and go to the second ending, it's here. Thumb, thumb. So forth, and that's how the roadmap thing works. It gets a little tricky because, again, the beat has to be a steady beat all the way through no matter what you're doing. No matter where you're going or whatever, moving or anything, the beat has to remain steady. So you have to work on that. You start slow, and you gradually speed it up over time. Then on top of all that, they've added pedal. Well, isn't that sweet? You don't need pedal on this. You can do it just fine without, but they've added it. So the question is, why are they adding it? Well, here it's because it's contrast. They're adding the overtones sort of to reinforce natural accents and give portions of this a little louder than normal because of the overtones. So it's really contrast. Because it's a fast piece, here we got to put the pedal down with the notes. There's not time to do it after the notes. So it's like on the second ending there. On page 54, you hear. I push the pedal down with them and lift it up with them. That's it. You really don't need pedal on that at all. So it's here. You don't need pedal, but you can do it so with them and that, and then going on here. Basically, I'm pushing it down on beat 1 and lifting it up on beat 2. And then here, leave it down and then lift it up. So there's silence before you go on. somewhat silenced before I go on because this is kind of a choppy, staccato-y type disconnected thing. And we want that. And by the way, I missed it before. Duh. On page 15, in the left hand, you see the C and the D. It's got that brace, depending on which way you're going. And there's an asterisk, but that's just indicating a footnote. That's not part of the music. The square brace is a new symbol. They haven't shown that for you. It's simply telling you to play both of those notes with the same finger. You see the one under the staff, that's the finger numbers, the thumb. So we're going to play those two notes with the thumb, a C and a D. And what it is you simply let the thumb come out a little bit and play it. We do this a lot in piano. So that measure is here, here. Because this is a little awkward. So this is quite common. And even if the square brace weren't there, you might consider doing it anyway, if you got a big stretch. Now, if it's up close, you don't need it because you can do that. But here is good. And you'll see this in other areas, same thing. Just let the thumb play both notes. You get it in the right hand too, just not in this piece, but you'll see it from time to time. Now, speed. Well, this is a fairly quick piece, but it's got to be accurate. So if this is your accurate, close enough. It's got to be accurate. That's what's important. Last measure, look out. In the left hand, you have a G, and then you're adding a chord, but the G is tied. You don't play it again, you hold it down while you play these. You're just adding them to it. Here. So look out on that, don't play it again, keep it down. I like to play this with you slowly. Let's just double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. We are going to do the repeat and the AVA and all that junk, and I'll do the pedaling, or at least I try to. I'm going to give us 3 counts, and let's just go over it very slowly. 1, and ready, and go, and. Go up an octave. Second ending. Rest.